Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time, he wanted to expel the Jews. And Haj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. היטלר הוא אחראי לפתרון הסופי, להשמדת 6 המיליונים, הוא קיבל את ההחלטה.
Hitler did not invent the hatred of Jews. Many cultures and societies dating back to the beginning of civilization were both envious and angry at Jewish people. Hitler grew up in Vienna, and at the time, the mayor of Vienna was a known anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic literature at the time was stereotyping and portraying Jews in an evil light. They were being represented as disloyal, untrustworthy, and money-hungry. An example of this is the Elders of Zion. This document was claimed to be the Jewish plan for world domination, and it was widely distributed. Hitler was heavily influenced by this document. Adolf Hitler himself explained that he had no feelings toward Jews before he moved to Vienna in 1908. It is widely known that Hitler was rejected from the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. As documented in his book Mein Kampf, Hitler was convinced that the panel members who rejected his application were Jews. Another theory is that a Jewish doctor unsuccessfully treated his mother Clara when she had breast cancer. Hitler loved two things in life, his mother Clara and the German Reich. Clara died a painful death in 1907. Germany's loss of World War I was another big trigger. Hitler was brought into the philosophy that Germany was stabbed in the back by the Jews during World War I. Jewish people were extremely involved in the socialist and communist movements that led to revolution in both Germany and Russia, which were seen as weakening the war effort. In 1920, Hitler announced to the Nazi Party, none but those of German blood may be members of the nation. No Jew therefore may be a member of the nation. The final solution was a Nazi plan to exterminate the Jews during World War II.
Meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich nicht in diesem Jahr.
The history of Jews during World War II is almost synonymous with the persecution and murder of Jews which was committed on an unprecedented scale in Europe and European North Africa. The massive scale of the Holocaust which happened during World War II greatly affected the Jewish people and world public opinion, which only understood the dimensions of the final solution after the war. The genocide known as Shoah in Hebrew aimed at the elimination of the Jewish people on the European continent. It was a broadly organized operation led by Nazi Germany in which approximately 6 million Jews were murdered methodically and with horrifying cruelty. Although the Holocaust was organized by the highest level of Nazi German government, the vast majority of Jews murdered were not German but were instead residents of the countries invaded by Nazis after 1938. Of the approximately 6 million Jews were murdered by Nazis, approximately 160,000 to 180,000 were German Jews. During the Holocaust in occupied Poland, more than 1 million Jews were murdered in gas chambers of the Auschwitz concentration camp alone. The murder of the Jews of Europe affected Jewish communities. Until Zionism came about, Jews flourished as distinctly religious Jewish communities and they weren't massacred. On the contrary, they went to these Arab Muslim lands to escape persecution from the Crusades, from the Inquisition, and from many other trials and tribulations, and even the World War II. At the time, the Arab Muslims opened their hearts, opened their lands, and provide a safe haven and a gracious hospitality for the Jewish people. However, Muslims and Jews have different religions, and even the Muslims' religion requires the Muslims people to provide protection and hospitality, and they did carry that out. That's clear, nobody could refute this fact. Israel. Officially, the State of Israel is a country in West Asia. It is bordered by Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan to the east, the Red Sea to the south, Egypt to the southwest, the Mediterranean Sea to the west, and the Palestinian territories, the West Bank along the east and the Gaza Strip along the southwest. Tel Aviv is the financial, economic, and technological center of the country, while its seat of government is in its proclaimed capital of Jerusalem. Although Israeli sovereignty over East Jerusalem is unrecognized internationally, the total population of Israel is 9.364 million. However, Jews constitutes about 3/4 of the total population of Israel. More than 1/5 of the population consists of Arabs, almost all of whom are Palestinians from Sunni Muslims. Roughly 3/4 are Christians communities. Dress and other so-called ethnic Arabs who do not consider themselves Palestinians make up a small fraction of the total population. Now, I can't explain to you why Israel and Palestine are at war, because then this video will be much longer, so I am directly coming to the destruction and death toll of this conflict. It has been years of conflict between Israel and Palestine. Every day there's been killing of hundreds of Palestinians, including women and even children. As of 18 February 2024, over 30,000 people, 28,473 Palestinians and 1,410 Israeli have been killed in the Israel-Hamas war, including 88 journalists, 83 Palestinians, 2 Israeli and 3 Lebanese, and over 136 UNRWA aid workers. There is a common phenomena in politics and every state policy that there is not any permanent friend, not permanent enemy, but only permanent profit makers. The same is the case with the conflict between Israel and Palestine, which results in the destruction of Palestine. However, world leaders are not prepared yet for any kind of justice and peace agreement, because the agreement based on justice will be against Israel, which is almost leading the policy of every state in the world, including Muslim countries. What do you think? Why is America freely supporting Israel in conflict against Palestine? Is there a bond of brotherhood between Christians and Jews? The short answer is absolutely not. There is no bond of any kind of brotherhood or friendship, because if you put a sight on the prehistoric relations between Christians and Jews, you will probably know that instead of brotherhood, they were brutal enemies. Now, this question penetrates everyone's mind. Why is America intentionally helping Israel? Because the Jewish people have a lot of political power in the USA. The vast majority of simple hillbillies in America refuse to acknowledge it because they would feel ashamed about it. The Israel lobby are individuals and groups seeking to influence the United States government to better serve Israel's interests. The largest pro-Israel lobbying group is Christians United for Israel with over 7 million members. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, IPAC, is a leading organization within the lobby. Speaking on behalf of coalition of pro-Israel American Jewish groups, in 2006, 60% of the Democratic Party's fundraising and 25% of that for the Republican Party's fundraising came from the Jewish-funded PACs. The Jewish people also hold disproportionately many seats in the Congress as the PACs wreak havoc. There are only 2% of Jewish people in the USA, but 9 out of 100 senators and 35 out of 435 representatives are Jewish. Jews have sucked a lot of money from the USA. According to the US foreign aid to Israel, Israel is the largest cumulative recipient of US foreign assistance since World War II. To date, the United States has provided Israel with $134.7 billion and has pledged to give them another $38 billion over the next 10 years. That's tens of thousands of dollars for free, or for the murders some of them carry out in the Middle East. From the beginning, former US President Harry Truman was the first world leader to recognize Israel when it was created in 1948. In part because of personal ties, Truman's former business partner Edward Jacobson played a pivotal role in laying the groundwork for the US to recognize Israel as a state. But there were also some strategic considerations driving the decision. So it means that from the beginning till now, the Israelis have a big hand in every part of the USA. Another big reason for the USA to support Israel is the major companies that exist in the USA but are controlled by Israelis so far. For instance, the world's largest asset management firm, BlackRock. As of January 2022, BlackRock controls $9.5 trillion in assets, and it has its shares across the globe. I mean, in every country of the world and every company in that country, BlackRock has its shares. Now, you would be thinking that why are you telling us about a company that exists in America? Because I'm not talking about its existence, which is of course in America, but the major one is that the founder and the CEO of the company is a Jewish named Larry Fink. He also proclaimed that Israel must attack Palestine for the security of Israelis from any kind of attack. I hope this video helps you understand important information about Jews, Israel, and Hitler's hatred of Jews. If this video really helps you, then like to the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks and goodbye.